Hi guys! So I just got home from work and I made a poll if I should do it or I shouldn't, and I said that if it goes above 80% then I'm really considering to do it. So it wasn't like, oh, 51% versus 49, then I wouldn't have done it. So I might curse, I might get really mad, I can get really worried up, so yeah, we'll see. And welcome to the bad lighting of my room, but you can hear me and that's the point, not really my angry face anyways. So apparently it's okay to make a petition to kick out 2 members and like announcing a boycott. Like, what? Like in 2017 it was enough for these same people to be like, oh, they shouldn't be active, they shouldn't participate in the comeback, and yeah, we are gonna support you if you don't let that happen. And now it's like, oh, now just kick them out. And it's been like 2 years and the amount of fuckery in this like really just pisses me off to no end. Like how long does it take for you to accept an apology for something that is not even necessarily bad? Like, I'm obviously talking about Sungmin now, so I might just mention Kangin's case, like, last part, but of course my main annoyance comes from Sungmin's situation. Like, basically they are criminalizing him for getting married, and my problem is that all the excuses that they make up, although they have some truth to it and I can see them, in the beginning I really tried to understand that point of view as well. So I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, he just got married, yeah, whatever. Like, I really tried to understand where these fans, like they are not, were coming from. So at that point I was like, yeah, it was sudden and all that. So I was like, yeah, it's okay for now to be like negative about it. You need to let the anger out that like he got married and whatever, how he handled it. But after the army, like I would normally expect that 2 years for you is enough to process what happened, but apparently it's not. And you know what's worse? 5 fucking years is still not enough. Like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, hold on, so you are basically stopping him from doing his job. Like that doesn't really work like that. Like, I don't know, you work at the store and then someone likes you and you decide to get married, and then like they were shopping at the store like all the time, and then they are like, not just, they're like, okay, you should stop doing your job. Like, what? Like, it's just so weird. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I get it to that point that Super Junior is Super Junior to this day because of the fans. That is very true. But there is a limit to that. Like, you do not own them. You do not own their lives. That doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, they own you something. Like, they own you to be active as a group and release you good music. If you think so, I guess that's the maximum that they own, in my opinion. Like I mean, they don't really own it. Like, if their contracts are up and they decide to disband, then yeah, but like that's the maximum that you can expect of them. Like, we are talking about a bunch of men in their 30s and you don't expect them to get married while you're married yourself with kids. Like, excuse me, but is it really bad that I wish upon all these women to just get divorced and be single moms, and then, like, because Korean society is that dumb that they literally just like ruin single moms' lives? Like, because they would deserve it, because apparently they want to ruin Sungmin's life. So yeah, be a single mom then. You shouldn't be married too either. Like, I'm like that pissed at them. I mean, obviously I don't wish anyone to die because that's just too severe, but like, okay, yeah, then get a divorce and then get the stigma on single mothers. Yeah, I know, that would suck for you. So yeah, I don't know how they expect him to just like he just loves Simon. Yeah, I also find it stupid to get married before the army, and that's a Korean thing apparently. I mean, Taeyang did it, and like I find it ridiculously stupid. So like, yeah, whatever. So the excuses that they bring up is like, Simon was rude to the fans. I mean, were you nice to her? Or were there like, I don't know, like 5 elves who were rude to her and basically bullied her? Oh, yeah, like probably there were. And then you expect her to just deal with that and be nice to everyone that she meets. Of course she's gonna have this prejudice against elves. Like, oh my god, those, I don't know, 5, I just said a number, literally bullied me. I'm scared of them. Like, she's gonna be wary of all the other elves as well. Like, that's how it works. You're gonna be, like, low-key scared of these people. So, you expecting her to be all nice and friendly to you when, like, I don't know how many of you, but, like, some of them, like, probably were not nice to her in the beginning. Like, that doesn't work like that. Like, she's not even a celebrity. Like, she's a musical actress that's basically barely any different from being non-celebrity girlfriend-boyfriend, like, status kind of thing. Like, you're basically just bullying a non-celebrity person. And, like, even if, like, 2 of you were rude to her, it's enough reason for her to think that she should be wary of you and, like, she probably won't be like all friendly and all that. Plus, how do you say like rude? Like, was she really rude or you just perceived it as rude? Like, yeah, like maybe she was just like nervous and like, I don't know what the whole situation is, because it really feels like just a made up like excuse at the end. And my problem with these is that even if this didn't happen, like assuming that she was super nice, everything was announced properly, it didn't interfere with the comeback, and neither with Super Show, everything was done perfectly, you would still find some reasons to hate on her and Sungmin and their marriage. So that's my problem with this, that now they use these as excuses, but if these were not done at all in the past, you would still find other excuses. And that's my main problem with this. Plus, it was 5 years ago. Yeah, I find it kind of shitty that Sungmin included Mimi, her nickname, in his signature on photo cards and album signs and like merch, like whatever, like his signature. Instead of the star that he puts in his signature, he wrote Mimi. I do find that shitty. That's kind of weird. Like, I don't necessarily want to have your girlfriend's name on your signature. That's kind of weird. So I was like, okay, that's kind of sketchy. But it was 5 years ago. Yeah, and he apologized for all these things. It was 5 years ago. Yeah, it was a very bad timing. It shouldn't have happened during the Mamacita comeback. It was 5 years ago. He apologized for it. It was 5 fucking years ago. And he apologized for it. What else do you want him to do? Like, it's his job to be an idol, and you just want to stop him from doing it for something that is not even a crime at all. And he apologized for it still. Like, what do you want them to do? There is a limit to how much hate they can receive, and they won't be nice and still keep apologizing, and that's where they are now. They are like, yeah, they are like this, basically. So you complaining that they are rude and still not acknowledging or something, it just makes no sense, because you bullied them for so long that at this point, they are like, yeah, it doesn't matter what we say. So that's why you are not receiving those countless apologies that you expect, because to be honest, even if you got them, you would still shit on them and you wouldn't let Sungmin to be in the group. So yeah, that's fun. Like, really, I don't understand it. This was 5 fucking years ago. Maybe I can deal with, okay, missing out on the play comeback, but it was 5 years ago. Okay, 5 years ago. 5. Like, literally, a kid goes from 0 to someone who can learn to count and can speak proper sentences and is basically a tiny human that has their own thoughts. From 0 to that, that's 5 years. 5 years is longer than high school. 5 years is like, basically you finish a university in that much time. Okay? It's 5 years. Like, That's why I'm so pissed, I think. Like, it's just basically they're like, oh, this and this, they did that. But when does it stop? When would you think it's like acceptable to be like at least neutral about them and just stop the hate? Because apparently it's not. And he just literally got married. Yeah, like how it was found out about through the press during the comeback, and even the wedding day was kind of off because of their third Japanese concert stop. But if you think about it, it was consulted with SM. His schedule was adjusted to his wedding, and that was the only best weekend that they could find that both of their close families could attend. Unfortunately, that meant he can't participate in a one-day Japanese concert. So I don't know how these Koreans like are so pissed about that when it was a Japanese concert and they mostly don't care about Japanese people. They're like, okay, we only take your money for the from the fans. And Japanese fans actually don't care. They would wholeheartedly support Sungmin. It's just the Koreans who are basically like making this excuse that like it's because of the concert that he missed. But it wasn't even in Korea. It was in Japan. That you basically kind of hate. Like, you kind of hate that they go there. You just like that they get money from there or whatever. I mean, I'm not generalizing that all of them, but there are some serious opposing sides. Yeah, it's kind of weird for me to process that. But, okay, like, they don't see eye to eye. It's fine. But like really, like they are just using all these excuses that they could find to justify their hate, when in reality they are just bitter. They are just jealous and bitter. Yeah, we all know that, we can all see that. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. After 5 years, he's over 30, and then people will be like, oh, he escaped to the army after he got married. He was already scheduled to enlist. So yeah, what's your point? How would you have done it if it was you, dear hater? Like, you would have announced that you have a relationship that you're serious about and you want to marry her eventually, and you would have married her after the army, or what? Because I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have worked for these people either. I mean, I would have done that, but I'm pretty sure he would have still gotten tons of hate and would have been boycotted. And at this point, it's like they're boycotting the member who says anything supporting towards Sungmin or Kangin. Like, tiny, anything. They're boycotting that member. And then these international people who are not elves, they're just so smart about the situation. Like, I also hate them. Like, they're like, oh, but the Super Junior members don't support them. Not a single elf would have said that. It's only non-elves that think that. Super Junior tries their best, like, to even, like, do anything about it, but they're basically getting even more hate when they say anything remotely positive about them. Oh, the only thing that they are left with is basically the official Super Junior account can like all of Sungmin's posts. Yeah, that's all they can do without... probably they get hate for that too, so... yeah, I don't know. Like, it was 5 years ago. Get over it. He's married. He's still very talented. He's still very nice. He's still the same Sungmin. Like, he's still your idol. He still loves the others. The others still love him. Like, yeah, maybe they had a tiny fight about it. We don't know. But they probably talked about it like normal human beings and just agreed and forgave each other if they had any other issues or whatever. Like, they don't hate Sungmin at all. So, they want to work with him. They want to have him in the group. And your selfishness is stopping that from happening. Basically, you as a fan think that your selfishness is above Super Junior's happiness. Excuse me, but you're not a fan. Like, that's just disgusting. You're supposed to want the best for them, and you're just making excuses to hate on a member who got married 5 years ago. Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to the topic of just kicking out the members. Like, they're threatening a boycott if, like, they don't kick them out and whatever. Okay, let's assume that you managed to kick out Kangin and Sungmin. The general public hates Siwon so much right now. Not everyone, but like there is people who hate Siwon, and now don't even get me started on that. Putting a leash on your dog at home. Maybe that's normal in Korea, but at the Western world that's called animal abuse, you know. Yeah, not to mention it's not even like his dog, it's a family dog. Yeah, so now that you apparently managed to kick out Kangin and Sungmin, what happens next? The general public hates on Siwon. So you can make up these excuses that, okay, we need to remove Siwon now because he's ruining the image of Super Junior, because you know that's the excuse with Kangin and Sungmin right now, that they are doing bad for the group, they are ruining Super Junior's image. Okay, then they moved on to Siwon. Okay, you removed Siwon. You know what comes next? These comments are gonna go after Shindong. Okay, you removed Shindong. Probably Ituk is next. Okay, you removed Ituk. Probably Eunhyuk is next. I mean, he dated a girl who was like upset and uploaded accidentally a photo on his Twitter. Yeah, it was Twitter. And like she came out of it okay. Like she made her career, and Eunhyuk is now basically scared of variety shows. And they tell me that double standards and like always the girl has it worse in a relationship scandal. Not always. So after you even removed Eunhyuk, yeah, right now they like each other, but you know, he can say things. Probably he would end up getting hated at one point as well. So we are removing Hichol then. Okay, then probably they would get Yesung with something. I don't know, he maybe posted a supporting message, so I've started to boycott him like so bad that they need to kick him out. So who are we left with? Donghae, Ryuk and Kihyun. What a wonderful group, it's Super Junior. Like, you are never gonna fix Super Junior's image with these actions that you say that you're doing for their image, because Super Junior's image is so looked down in Korea that nothing is gonna fix that. And as a fan, and with these boycotts and all that, you're literally fueling their hate towards Super Junior. And you are responsible for them shitting on members, even the ones that you're protecting right now. But after you manage to kick out those other members, you would kick them out too, right? So Super Junior would be a wonderful 3-member group for a while. Probably they would end up losing another member eventually, so yeah, what a wonderful group. It doesn't work like that. You can't just start kicking them out because they just have this image that SM let them have, the variety idols. SuJu was never ever and probably never going to be respected for their singing or even dancing abilities, never. They are just the funny group. They have the best ballads under SM. Like, EXO was promoting with ballads. Apparently, the general public thinks that EXO is like this super good vocal group, and the Mashinki, Super Junior, and SHINee all have better vocals. Not that EXO doesn't have good ones, because SM has very good vocal coaches, but like, excuse me, but Kihyun is on a whole other level, so like, yeah, whatever. So Super Junior would never be respected as a vocal group. They are just a funny group, so they get hate much more easily. And you are never gonna fix that image. Never. So using this as an excuse to kick out members just doesn't work. It does not. Like, and they know it. I'm pretty sure these people who make these petitions know it, that Super Junior would not stop getting hate if they kicked out. They would be just like, yeah, we kicked them out. Yeah, we did well. Now they're happy, right? No, nobody's happy. Except you, I guess. But when you're gonna get old and you're gonna be like 70 or even older, you're gonna be like, oh man, I was stupid. I literally ruined people's careers for my own selfishness. Yeah, what a wonderful thought that you're gonna have as a 70-year-old lady. He got married 5 years ago. 5. Get over it. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. I just can't get over that. They can't get over this. They were rude to us. They were rude to some elves. Nobody's talking about that. Maybe some of those elves were actually Satangs. Yeah, they are not talking about that because that doesn't support their claim. So, and about the Kangin one, don't even get me started. Like, he's just hated all the time, and he's a criminal, you know, and he had DUI twice. That means that he drives drunk more times than someone who got a DUI once. No, it doesn't. It just means that he himself went to the police station and owned up to his mistake and apologized for it countless times and actually reflected for years in both cases. While your other oppa, dear other fandom, who maybe only got caught once, or maybe they, like he did, but you know, they paid it off, probably could have, or not probably, but maybe they have driven drunk more than Kangin. You don't know. The number of how many times you get charged for drunk driving has nothing to do with how many times you have actually driven drunk. It doesn't really relate. It's just basically luck at this point. Yeah? And you know what? What's at least good about drunk driving? That you can just stop it. Okay? It's not like pimping out girls and ruining their lives forever, or being a drug dealer and raping girls. Yeah, it's not comparable to that. Because if you have not killed someone, like, thank God he didn't, oh my God, then at least you can stop. There is that point that you can just stop doing it. Drunk driving is not like an addiction, it's just your own stupidity. So you can at least stop drunk driving. But with others where you have ruined lives, you can't just stop it because those consequences are with you forever. So I'm like just really grateful that he have not killed anyone, because I'm honestly scared shitless of drunk drivers. Like, yeah, I do agree that basically that's murder, to drink and then sit behind the wheel and drive. That's basically attempting murder. But at least you can just stop doing it, you know? And that's the point where, like, and the numbers, like, everyone is like, but he did it again. Do you really think that anyone, like, anyone, like, that in Korea, do you really think that everyone in Korea who got charged with drunk driving once just stopped doing it, except Kangin? Like, that doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And all these people acting so smart, like, he is a criminal, he, like, drunk driving is murder, like, they are, like, all loud on the internet. So, did your husband or uncle or father or grandfather or your son, or, like, well, women can too, so, like, whatever. So your mom, your sister has never ever driven drunk? Or they have, probably because it's a problem in Korea. Drunk driving is a serious issue in Korea. So just by saying that, ooh, this celebrity did it, won't stop everyone else from doing it. The only thing that would decrease the numbers if the police finally started to step up. But again, we have learned that they are just corrupt and good for nothing, so yay! So that's about Kangin's situation. About Siwon's, it's like, yeah, Bugsy is kinda his dog, but it's also his family's dog. And he has not raised Bugsy for 2 years before the accident happened. And he wasn't even there, it was with his family. So Bugsy was basically with his family and not with Siwon when the whole thing happened. And we are calling like it's murder, whatever. The only reason why the lady died is because she was receiving chemo and already had cancer, so her immune system was really, like, completely useless, basically. That's what chemo does to you. So the only reason why the victim has passed away is because she had chemo before and had cancer. If it was anyone else in that apartment who didn't receive chemo, like I don't know if other people did, they would not have died. None of the other people from the bite, because like Bugsy was examined and didn't have that bacteria. So the only reason that she's dead is basically bad luck. So it's an accident. It's a very terrible accident. But he wasn't even there. He didn't even raise the dog for 2 years. He barely saw Bugsy. And you're calling him a murderer and like, put a leash on a dog in an apartment. I guess like Koreans are just so not used to dogs that they don't even know what it's like to have a dog. Like, I mean, I understand if people are scared of dogs because it happens. But putting a leash on your dog at home, they can get stuck and suffocate themselves and like kill themselves if like whatever happens to them. It's just dangerous to put a leash on them or like just tie them up in the corner or whatever. Like, what century are we living in? That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I don't own a dog. I would never own a dog. But I took care of dogs for a couple days when their owners were away, and like I could deal with them. Like, you don't need to put a leash on them. The problem with Bugsy wasn't that leash wasn't on them, so like wasn't on him. He basically just escaped from the apartment and found someone to bite. And that person was unfortunately someone with a very weak immune system due to chemo. And that's how the whole thing happened, and it's an accident. And basically they are like criminalizing Siobhan that wasn't even there, didn't even raise the dog for 2 years. Yeah, that's what you get for being one of the kindest and generous celebrities. Just nothing. Like, all the good that he has done for the world is basically ignored because of bad luck of them and the ladies. Do I even wanna edit this? Oh, Somi got married 5 years ago. It's the thing that they don't want Kangin to be active. I know. I could deal with that, but kicking them out of the group is just not the answer, and Sangmin should be back in the group already, even if he was not in play. All the, like, these ridiculous... Oh my god. I'm so mad. So, yeah. Bye.